Wow, this year is really flying by. I cannot believe that we're already into July. It just blows my mind. We are halfway through the year, and you know what that means. Another pickups video. This time, this is going to be pickups for the month of June. And you know what? The month of June was not a light month like the month of May. I got some pretty good stuff in the month of June, including a game lot from somebody who hooks me up on a regular basis. So be sure and hit that subscribe button so that you can join the RetroWolf family. And let's take a look at my video game pickups for the month of June 2019. Let's go ahead and kick things off with my Nintendo Switch pickups for the month of June. I actually got a pretty decent number of Switch games in June. Let's see, 8. So we got 8 Nintendo Switch games in June, which is pretty awesome. It's a nice boost to the already insanely large collection. And let's start with my favorite game for the month of June, and that is Super Mario Maker 2. I'm already having an absolute blast with Super Mario Maker 2. Playing levels, making levels, playing through story mode, trying to play competitive multiplayer mode at 5 frames per second. But other than that, I'm having a blast with the game. As a matter of fact, I have got a review for the story mode, which I will leave in the description down below, as well as a video I did recently where I played some of your levels, and it was a lot of fun. If you have levels for me to play in a future video, throw those in the comments down below. I highly recommend Super Mario Maker 2. It is going to be a massive success. Now, another game that I've very much been looking forward to is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Finally made its way to the Switch, and you know, the Switch port has some issues. There are optimization issues, low frame rate, bugs, glitches, that sort of thing. I think they are working on fixing the issues, and it's unfortunate that it was released in this state, but give it some time, try to be patient. I am almost certain that they're going to fix the game, considering the Switch copy sold the best out of all 3 consoles. So give it time and they will iron out the issues, and it will become a even better game on the Switch than it already is. I played through the ship in the beginning. I didn't really run into any issues on the ship. From what I understand, the issues happened after that. But Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a fantastic spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Next up is a game that has been absolutely kicking my ass, and that is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. This game is hard. This is not Mario Kart. It's a great game, but it's not as pick up and play as Mario Kart is. It requires a lot of skill, a lot of technical skill, and the computer in adventure mode is absolutely destroying me, as well as people online that are much better than I am. But it's a very fun game. I am enjoying it so far. Next up, hooked up to me from Instagram user and Twitter user RomeoKidTV, good buddy of mine, Tony. He actually runs a podcast called Host Talk, which I will leave links to in the description down below. I highly recommend checking out his podcast. It's very entertaining, and I will be on a future episode, which I'm also excited about. Now, I did not know this, but apparently Tiny Troopers Joint Ops XL was limited to about 5,000 copies, and I think it was a Walmart exclusive from what I understand. So he had 3 copies, and he hooked me up with one of them, not for free of course, but he gave me a fantastic price, and thank you, Tony, for that. I really appreciate it. But now I have this game in the collection, and it actually looks pretty cool. Don't know when I'll get a chance to check it out, but maybe one day. Next up, we have the limited release games that I got for the month of June, and we have Strictly Limited Games Switch release number 3, which is R-Type Dimensions EX. I absolutely love shoot 'em ups. And I believe this game, yeah, has R-Type and R-Type 2 on it, with the original retro 2D graphics or the shiny new 3D graphics. So that's really cool. Can't wait to check that out. Then from East Asia Soft, we have Switch release number 6, which is Pato Box. So this game looks very interesting. It's all black and white graphics, and it looks to be inspired by Punch-Out, but it also has a single-player adventure mode to it as well, and it looks very surreal and unique and trippy, and I can't wait to check that out. Then from Limited Run Games, we have Limited Run Games Switch release number 29, which is Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove. I will admit I've never played a Toe Jam and Earl game before, so I'm kind of intrigued by this, and eventually I will check it out and see what this game is all about. Also from Limited Run Games is a really cool and unique game called Bomb Chicken, and that is Switch release number 32. It is a 2D side-scrolling platformer puzzler where you play as a chicken that lays bombs instead of eggs. Very unique, very fun. Highly recommend this game. So those are my Switch pickups. Let's launch into some eBay and some retail game store pickups. So let's start with the eBay pickup. So recently on the channel in my GameCube Gallery series, which is a series you all should check out. There are 3 episodes so far. It's a series where I'm taking a look at the GameCube library one game at a time. And in episode number 3, we actually looked at 13 on the Nintendo GameCube, which is a fantastic cel-shaded first-person shooter. Now, in my research on this game, I discovered that there was actually a soundtrack that you could get as a pre-order bonus, but of course you could also purchase the soundtrack as well, because the game has an original soundtrack and it is really good. So on eBay, I actually found the official soundtrack for 13, sealed, never used, and I got it for, I believe, 20 bucks. I had to have this in the collection, especially after doing that video, which I will leave a link to in the description down below. Next up, from my local retail game store, I stopped in there a couple of weeks ago just to see if they had any new inventory. And they had a few things new, but you know, I found a few things that caught my eye. I'm trying to collect player's guides for older consoles, like when I say older, I'm talking about GameCube era and earlier, but the Wii as well. I'm also looking at those, and I found a player's guide for Red Steel on the Wii, the very first Red Steel game, which honestly Red Steel 1 is not that great of a game. Red Steel 2 is fantastic though, but I wanted to have this in the collection, and it is a pretty nice player's guide. Also at that retail game store, I picked up a couple of Super Nintendo games for $5 each. The Rocketeer, and I also picked up Wild Snake. From eStarland.com, I had a lot of trade credits, so I decided to pick up some stuff for my GameCube collection as well as a PS4 game. So for the PS4, I picked up Rage 2. I had to get this game because I loved the original Rage. Rage 2 looks really good, so once I finish Days Gone, depending on what else I have going on, I might go ahead and start Rage 2 and play through it. Now, from eStarland, the main thing I wanted to spend my credit on was GameCube games, because I'm going for a complete Nintendo GameCube collection, and I had several GameCube games that I needed for my collection, and these are all Black Label games. I didn't get any Player's Choice games. We have Zatch Bell Mamoto Battles. I know nothing about this game. It looks like a 2D fighting game. We have Army Men Air Combat The Elite Missions, Darkened Sky, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Mutant Nightmare, which I now have all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games for the GameCube. Conflict Desert Storm 2 Back to Baghdad. Backyard Sports Baseball 2007. Kirby Air Ride. I had Kirby Air Ride, but it was the Player's Choice version, so I needed to get the Black Label version for the collection as well. And finally, we have Rugrats Royal Ransom. So it was nice to add those 8 GameCube games to the collection. It was a nice boost to the collection. Now, the last thing I want to show you in this category was a eBay pickup, and it's huge for the GameCube collection because it is one of the rarest, most expensive GameCube games on the list, and that is Disney Sports Basketball. Now, there's 2 unfortunate things about this. Number 1, it does not have a manual, and number 2, on the back of the label, as you can see here, there is a huge tear. However, the price that I got the game for was reflective of both of those things. As a matter of fact, I actually made an offer for a lower price than what the individual was asking for, and they came back with a counter offer that was just a little bit higher than what I asked for, and I went ahead and took it because it was a great deal and I needed this game in the collection. Eventually I will replace it with a copy in better condition and with a manual, and I will sell this one for a good price to somebody who needs it in their collection. But very happy to have this game in the collection. So now there are only 2 really expensive games that I need to add to the collection. One of them is that basketball game that's very expensive, and the other one is Ultimate Muscle, which is rising in price pretty quickly. So very happy to have that in the collection. Let's move on to a few more Instagram pickups. So next up are a few more Instagram pickups outside of the Nintendo Switch game that I talked about earlier from RomeoKidTV. First off, we have a game that 1974 Ninja hooked me up with, and he hooked me up with Trans World Surf Next Wave, which was a GameCube game that I did not have. He is a surfer, he likes surfing. He also threw in Kelly Slater Pro Surfing on the Game Boy Advance for free. Dude, I cannot thank you enough for hooking me up with this game and at a great price. It really means a lot. and you have sent it to a great home, so thank you for that. Next, we have a game from andysclaimsale, and he hooked me up with 007 Agent Under Fire Player's Choice. I already had the Black Label version, but I did not have the Player's Choice version, so I'm happy to add that to the Player's Choice collection. And last but not least, from my good friend Gabe, whose profile is at HG_boxing89, he hooked me up with a game on the Nintendo 64 that I have a lot of nostalgia for, and that is Mischief Makers, which is actually one of the few 2D side-scrolling games on the Nintendo 64, and it's a fantastic game. I actually played this for the first time with my cousin Nathan back in the day, a long time ago. I remember I was over at his house and we rented this game and played it on the Nintendo 64, and I remember having a lot of fun with it. And also it was pretty tough, if I remember correctly. Nathan, if you're watching this, let me know in the comments down below if you remember that. Gabe also hooked me up with a nice little surprise, and that is these really cool Mortal Kombat cards that have scenes from the original Mortal Kombat game on them, and then on the back information about the character in the scene, and that is really cool. It also even tells you how to do certain moves, gives you tips and tricks. Just really cool. So Gabe, thank you for the extras with the game. I really appreciate that. Let's move on to the main event of the episode, and that is the game lot. Last but not least, let's go over the game lot that I got. Now, as I've said in many of these pickups videos, I have a local guy that accumulates games over a month, a couple of months, and then he'll call me and he'll say, hey, I've got some games. He'll send me pictures, he'll give me a price, I'll meet him, pay him, pick the games up, and he has become a regular hookup for me for small to mid-sized game lots. He never lets me down. He always has good stuff in the lots, and he always gives me an amazing price. He actually prices them for pretty far less than what they're actually worth, and he knows what they're worth. He just doesn't want to deal with selling them individually. He would rather sell it as a lot, be done with it, and make a little bit of money off of it. What I'll generally do, and I always advise people of this, if you're a collector, this is really a great way to build your collection, and that is to buy game lots if you can. If you can set aside some money to buy a game lot, the best thing to do, buy a game lot that is worth the money. Don't overpay for things. Get a fair price for the game lot. Because typically if you're buying something in bulk, they need to be priced a little bit less than what they're actually worth. Otherwise, what's the point, right? If you can buy game lots, keep what you want out of the lot for the collection. Try to sell the rest to recoup your money, and maybe even make a little bit of profit as well that you can then put back into the collection or put towards more game lots in the future. And let's actually start with the Wii games so I can get this giant stack off the table. Domino Rally, Wii Sports Resort, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Namco Museum Mega Mix Loose, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Donkey Kong Country Returns again, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, New Super Mario Bros. Wii Loose, Zelda Twilight Princess, a loose copy of Zelda Twilight Princess, Wario Land Shake It, Mario Kart Wii, Sin and Punishment Star Successor Loose, Zack and Wiki Quest for Barbarossa's Treasure, Pajama Sam Don't Fear the Dark, Shonen Jump's Bleach Shattered Blade, Chuck E. Cheese's Party Games, PokePark Wii Pikachu's Adventure, Pokemon Battle Revolution, and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Now there are a few more Wii games that I'm going to show a little bit later in the stack that I show for the games that I decided to keep. Some pretty decent Wii games in this game lot. Overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's go over a few miscellaneous stuff here. So we've got a Nintendo DS game complete, and it is SNK versus Capcom Card Fighters DS. We've got a couple of PlayStation games. We have Alundra 2, A New Legend Begins, The Flintstones Bedrock Bowling, Professional Underground League of Pain. We have some Dreamcast games. We have Sega Bass Fishing, and this one is actually really cool. So this is the, I believe the European version of Shenmue 2, but it's like a collector's edition. So check that out. That's really cool. So on the inside we have Shenmue 2, two different Shenmue 2s. I'm not sure what the difference is between them. If you know, you'll have to let me know in the comments down below, but I do know that, oh okay, it's 4 discs, so it's a 4-disc game. So this is complete and it's in very good condition. I'm actually very happy about this. I will probably not keep it, but I will find a good home for it. We've got some Xbox and Xbox 360 games here as well. We have the Minecraft Diamond Edition maps, mods, and more. We have for the Xbox 360 Darkest of Days, Spider-Man Edge of Time. For the Xbox we have Blinks the Time Sweeper, and actually here's another PlayStation game, Loose, Trag Missions of Mercy, TRAG Missions of Mercy. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk about the GameCube game. So we have a loose copy of Sonic Riders. We have a loose copy of Lego Star Wars the video game. A loose copy of Dark Summit. We have a loose copy of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Then we have a copy of Sonic Riders. Shrek Smash and Crash Racing, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, Gun, and a complete in-box copy of Mario Party 4. Next up on the PS2, we have a demo disc for Dragon Quest VIII. We have a copy of Maximo Ghosts to Glory, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1, The Dukes of Hazzard Return of the General Lee, Tai 2. We have a loose copy of Dot Hack Infection Part 1, Micro Machines V4, Spyro A Hero's Tale, Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, Hot Wheels Velocity Maximum Justice, loose with a printed. Now this is really nice right here, and this is actually one of the pricey games in the game lot, and that's Mortal Kombat Premium Edition for the PlayStation 2. This is a still case. You did not see very many still cases on the PlayStation 2, and it has both discs. It's in great condition other than the manual, so that is really cool. Then we have PTO 4, which stands for Pacific Theater of Operations. And another cool item, which is the limited edition copy of Ultimate Spider-Man for the PlayStation 2. So that's pretty nice. No manual, but still, it's pretty nice. Let's move on to the games that I decided to keep out of the game lot. Now, there were two Dreamcast games that I did not have in my collection that I decided to keep. One of them is fairly pricey, and that's Super Magnetic Neo. I also decided to keep Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. A couple of limited run games, PS4 releases actually, which is pretty nice with the cards and everything. We've got Neuro Voider and Super Gun World 2. So that's pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. There are a few Wii games that I decided to keep here. We've got Call of Duty Black Ops, A Boy and His Blob Sealed, Pandora's Tower, which is a pretty pricey Wii game, Bully Scholarship Edition, another pricey Wii game, Ultimate Shooting Collection, Cursed Mountain, and New Play Control Pikmin. So those are the games out of the lot that I decided to keep in my collection, and the rest of the games I will try to find new homes for. Another pickups video in the bag. I hope you enjoyed this video. The main reason that I do this video is two reasons really. I just want to point this out. Number one reason is I want to help give tips and tricks to collectors out there for how to build their collection, and I feel like through this video, through some of the experiences that I have, I'm able to do that. The second thing that I like to do with this video, and the reason why I show you each game individually, is because it's a good way for you to see a game that you've maybe never heard of. Now, I would love to be able to record video footage for each and every game that I show, but that's just not conceivable. I just don't have the time to do that at this time, which is why I don't show any game footage. But at the very least, letting you see each game hopefully will bring to light a game that maybe you've never heard of, and then you can research more information about the game, and maybe it's something that you'll want to pick up. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure and hit that like button, and let me know in the comments down below if you have anything interesting to say about any of the games that I have shown today, and also share with me some of your recent pickups in the comments down below as well. As always, I appreciate everybody who subscribes to the channel, and I appreciate everybody who watches and comments and likes the video. Cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. And to those of you who are not subscribed, consider subscribing and joining the RetroWolf family as we move further and further towards 500 subscribers. Until next time, keep playing games and having a good time, and I will see you all later.